He's like, Mom, this is Chad's. I stood up to meet her, and she slapped me right across the face. And I was like, what the hell is that about? She goes, I heard you're just like Glenn, so that's all for the stuff you either did before or you're going to do in the future. And I was like, oh, this is going to be fun.
So the way we met is I was the head trainer down at the Monster Factory in New Jersey. And he came in, and both of our high schools wrestled against each other in high school. So
both of our high schools wrestled each other in high school?
Yeah.
Got it.
So we knew of each other.
Just want to make sure everyone else got it.
Yeah. I'm sure they did. They can read between my lines. So we knew of each other, but didn't know each other. So he came in for a tryout, and that's how it all started.
Yeah, we pretty much immediately hit it off down to school when I started training. I mean, we started hanging out together, and he was married. I had a girlfriend at the time, so the four of us always hung out.
It was like talking to, a lost brother that I haven't talked to. It was comfortable.
It was right around then when first time I met his mom. We were sitting downstairs in his basement watching TV or something, and she comes walking in, and he's like, Mom, this is Chad's. I stood up to meet her, and she slapped me right across the face. And I was like, what the hell is that about? She goes, I heard you're just like Glenn, so that's all for the stuff you either did before or you're going to do in the future. And I was like, oh, this is going to be fun.
And actually, if she knew what we did in the future, she would have knocked you out.
Yes. She would have grounded you.
All right, we're back with tag team action. The Bad Breed taking on the Spiders.
The Spider outfits almost look funny to me now.
And it's so funny, too, because it's hard to go, is that me or is that you?
There's conversations that his mom had with me when we were in the mask thinking I was him. So it was very interesting.
So we did do matches with them before this one at the ECW Arena. We did it over at USWA. So we were very familiar with working with Axel and Ian. We had a good chemistry with them. We gelled really well with them.
They kind of crashed on our couch.
They lived with us.
Ian was a big slob. Ian would do certain things that he knew would turn my stomach, so when I would make something to eat, I would just give it to him, which was kind of annoying. But at the same time, we all kind of left USWA at the same time. Yeah. And that's when ECW was first starting, or was, I guess, getting more traction.
Wind, yeah.
We were still the Spiders trying to figure out what we were doing, and Axel was like, hey, you guys want to come in? You want to work us? And it was local. It was in Philly. It was 20 minutes away. And so, yeah, so it was just an opportunity, a different opportunity for us that we were hoping would lead to more.
This should be all. Here comes another version of the Bad Bomb. Good night, Spider on top of his head.
We knew of Paul because of what he was building over at the ECW Arena, and it was so close to where we were born and raised, because we were born and raised in South Jersey. And of course we wanted to be a part of it. But when everything happened, it didn't fall the right way.
When we started doing the Headbanger gimmick, we probably would have fit in really, really well at ECW. The gimmick would have fit in really well. Just one of those things that just wasn't meant to be. This is our very first
one.
TV.
We're about to take our first look at a brand new tag team here in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, the Headbangers.
Yes, and take a look at these guys, will you, Chip?
The funny part is Cornette wanted us to come but didn't like masks. So he said, I had this idea. He was at a Glenn Danzig concert in New York. And he said, I don't like the mask, but I was at this concert. These guys were slam dancing. They were spitting on each other. They were hitting one another. He goes, they were wearing dresses, makeup, tattoos, the whole thing. And I was like, Jim, I know exactly what you're talking about, because I grew up, I liked that music. I used to go over to Philly with my buddies all the time, go to the bank, and we'd go and slam dance and beat the hell out of each other. It was fun. We walk in, he handed us these shirts. He handed me the Slayer shirt. Yep. He handed Glenn the Metallica shirt. He goes, so you're going to be the Headbangers? He's like, you're going to be Mosh, you're going to be Slasher. And we were like, well, there's already a band with a guy named Slash. So he's like, all right, so you be Thrasher then. He goes, I don't know, just go figure it out. So literally we went out and didn't know our names.
And speaking less of appearances, really not much to look at, but already you can see in the opening moments here the great teamwork that these guys bring to Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Where is he going? Look at him, topside.
Oh, my!
The only real disagreement we had about the outfits were the skirts. So we were walking through the thrift store just looking for clothes, something different to wear, and I made a right, and I went down to the women's aisle and started scrolling through the skirts, and I found the skirt and picked it up. I put it on, and I walked down the aisle, and he looked at me, and he goes, no. And I go, we got to try it. I go, it's $4. Convinced him to buy a skirt. We went to the show that night and put the skirts on, and all the boys in the back were giving us a hard time. We got so much heat from the crowd. It was ridiculous. Cornette came up to us. He goes, where did you buy those? We said the thrift store. He handed us each $20. He goes, go buy more. You now wear skirts. So that's literally how the skirts was born.
Was born, yeah.
It's right down in there.
Little to know that it would turn into something.
It turned into so much more.
More.
Especially when we got to WWE. It turned into, like, why do you wear skirts? And the answer was, because we can.
We're not
They're
hurting
like,
anybody.
Why do you have earrings? Well, because we can. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? We're like, why does it matter? Are we hurting you? If it's hurting your eyes and you don't like it, then look away. It's not bothering us. It turned into a whole following. To this day, when we do appearances, we have people come up and say, that message resonated with me.
And we hear that more today than I think that we even realized.
Yeah.
Even back then, it's humbling for us to hear stuff like that. Hey, you helped me get through my childhood. You know, I wore all black. You know, I listened to that kind of music. I listened to Marilyn Manson. I did that, you know, because you guys were doing it.
Everyone's like, oh, you have such a great gimmick. It's so fun. We're like, this really isn't a gimmick. Like, if you really get to know us, this is how we are. Even now, we act like goofballs sometimes.
And I think that's what made the Headbanger gimmick so good, is because it was us, and it was how we are. And, you know, we're still to this day, we're the same two from, you know, just two guys from South Jersey, just having fun, just being lucky enough to have a...
We just want people to laugh. If we figure we're laughing and having a good time, everyone else is.
Yeah.
And if you're not, then what's wrong with you?
Right.
There's really no territories now like there was before. So back then, we were able to take time to figure out who we were, who the characters were. Because even after Smoky Mountain closed down, we were doing other things elsewhere, all as the Headbangers. So we were able to grow that and figure out who that was before we even signed with WWE.
It was something that we always wanted, but we never verbalized it.
We had a beeper that we shared.
They didn't have cell phones back then.
We shared a beeper with an 800 number. People could call and leave us messages, but we had to use a calling card or a payphone to listen to. We had no way to call them back, but we could call and listen to the messages. But Cornette called us and he goes, boys, he goes, gotta talk to you. He goes, when you get a chance, give me a call. We were in West Virginia, and it had just rained, and I can see this in my head as clear as day.
Puddles
It
everywhere.
was, we stopped at a gas station at a payphone, and we're sharing a phone like this, and Jim's like, can you boys hear me? We're like, yep, we're sharing the phone. You know, we always do. Like, we both want to hear what you have to say. He goes, I had some bad news and good news. We're like, what's that? He goes, well, the bad news is you got to come up to, I think it was Springfield, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
We're like, okay. He goes, the good news is, he goes, you're getting a part-time contract. We were like, part-time contract?
What does that mean?
What does that mean? So he explained to us, they created these gimmicks. The idea was to have these guys build them up to a certain point. Then they're wrestling the superstars to get them over. So the matches look more competitive instead of just the squash matches that they always had. So he explained it to us. He goes, that's what you're getting. And we were like, this is amazing. So we showed up to TV and we sat down with him and Bruce. They went over everything. They handed us the contracts, and they both looked at us and they said, now it's up to you.
WrestleMania 13!
So this week was so surreal. They did the Slammies.
You know, the idea was they wanted everyone to dress up like the Academy Awards, but they said do it within your character. So we went to a thrift store and bought used wedding gowns, dyed them black, and that's what we wore.
Mankind being greeted by the Headbangers, and they just went down on the floor. Look what the Headbangers are wearing. What a celebration.
I think Undertaker won 3 or 4 awards that night, and every time somebody won, their music would play, the lights would go out for Undertaker, and we would stand up with the dinner rolls, and we would chuck them all across the room, and then we would sit back down, and when the lights come up, everybody was like this, looking around. So then we started looking around also at everyone. Just
Who's doing that?
Kicking things off as well with this most unusual type match, JR.
Well, this is a very unusual matchup. Here come the Headbangers. One of 4 teams are going to be involved in this matchup.
all week leading up to this, I'm trying to figure out we're going to get eliminated first or second, like who's going to win. And you know, the Godwins have been around, they had already been tag champs. I'm like, they don't need to go over. The rest of us were all new, so we're trying to figure it out. So we're sitting down with Jack Lanza. He was like going through the match, blah blah blah. The new Blackjacks and Doug and Phil are going to spill out, and they're going to be double count. They're going to be gone. I remember sitting there, and then I was like, oh my God, we're not getting eliminated first or second. This is amazing. And then for them to go, okay, so Headbangers are going over, figure out a way to do it. I went like this. Covered my mouth because I was smiling so big. At that point, it was one of the greatest nights ever.
What's
Look at this.
Oh, what a maneuver by Mosh.
See, I told you. Just like stage diving.
Everybody knows we're getting a title shot.
Going the monkey face.
Wow!
What a maneuver there. 1, 2, and he got it.
I'll never forget it. It's one of the things that you have fans, they come up to you and they go, what was it like to win at WrestleMania? It's hard, so hard to put into words. The crowd reaction to all that in Chicago was phenomenal for us.
We knew we made it, or at least we knew we were here, because the first day we walked into the hotel, there was security all over. The lobby was packed. You couldn't get through. And we're like 3 steps in, and someone yells, "Oh, it's the Headbangers." Then they started like a Headbanger chant, and we were like, holy cow, this is amazing. And we went up to our room, and then we sat there, and we went, I want to feel that again. So we went back downstairs, through the lobby, they started Headbangers, then we went into the bar, and then we got up on tables, and we were like crowd surfing off the tables in the bar. People were buying us shots and beer.
Yeah.
So this whole weekend, that's literally how it started.
It was amazing.
Got better and better and better and better.
The following contest, scheduled for one fall, is the Fatal 4-Way match, with the winners becoming World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions.
So we weren't even supposed to be in this match. This is when we weren't supposed to be in. This is when Dude Love and Stone Cold were tag champs, but Steve got hurt. So the last minute, they threw us in. We show up, and Cornette says, boys, I gotta talk to you. So we go all the way down. He takes us down into the bowels of the garden, into the parking garage, all the way back in a corner. He goes, I wanted to bring you away from everyone. I know how you guys are. He goes, want to let you know you're going over and winning the belts tonight. And we just stood there going, cool. And he goes, no. I brought you down here so you can jump around like little kids so you don't do it in front of everybody. So all 3 of us jumped around going, yay, down in the bowels of the Louisville Garden.
And to top it off, we're in the ring with Owen and Davey Boy and LOD.
LOD.
And of course, you know, the Godwins. It's just unbelievable, the talent.
From the top rope, I think. Oh, wow.
Yes!
So right here, I wanted to look. Right here, I'm like, all right, I know Stone Cold's coming. I'm like, I want to look, but I don't have to look.
How could you not know he was coming?
And I could see him with the middle fingers, and I'm like, let's go. And then here's I sit up, and I'm like, yeah,
Thanks, buddy.
let me pin him.
1, 2, 3.
The winners of this fight, and new World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions, the Headbangers.
Goosebumps all over again. The funniest part about this is we went down to, Raw was at Sunrise by us in Florida. And we turned the corner, we ran into Xavier Woods. And he like freaked out when he saw us. It was amazing. He told us, he said, ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to be a wrestler. He goes, I saw this match, I saw you guys win, then I saw you go into the crowd, and then they showed the video of us at the concession stand with all the
hot
fans.
dogs and
He
stuff.
said, at that point, I said, I want to be a tag team wrestler. He goes, because of this match right here and what we did, which was amazing. And we actually just ran into him coming up here.
To have somebody, you know, that's in a tag team that has reached his caliber and his level of
And doing it
success,
for so long.
you know, being one of the longest reigning tag team champs ever, have him say that we were the one that inspired him to be a tag team. Just when you hear comments like that, it just...
Yeah, but how weird does that make Xavier that he wanted to be a tag team because we were throwing hot dogs at people at a concession stand?
I don't know, maybe we should ask him that.
We were the kings of Shotgun Saturday Night. I mean, we were on the very first few episodes.
The Sisters of Love, undefeated.
The following tag team contest is scheduled for one fall. Their opponents from Cameron, North Carolina, at a total combined weight of 443 pounds, Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys.
The Hardy brothers to take on Thrasher and Mosh.
So actually the Hardys, we knew them back in Smoky Mountain days.
They had a great attitude. They were willing to do anything, but we always told them to limit their big spots that they do to the big shows. They didn't do that so much. When I first started training, Larry always taught us, he goes, when you go to bed at night, take a pad and a pencil or a pen, put it next to on your nightstand, because you're gonna dream about moves. He goes, write them down. He goes, because you don't forget in the morning. So one morning I woke up and there was a leg drop written on this piece of paper and a power bomb. And here it is right here. Beautifully done. Bam.
Stage dive! Stage dive! Move! The stage dive is breathtaking, and the Headbangers are winners.
It makes me mad sometimes because when people talk about tag team finishers, it's never brought up.
No, he's pretty passionate about that.
I so am. It upsets me because nobody thinks about it. And a tag team is all about the continuity between the two and the flow and everything else about how you work together as a team. No finisher is better than that.
It's Ricky Morton and Mosh now. The NWA Tag Team Championship is on the line here. And Morton now with a swinging neckbreaker on Mosh.
They were so helpful to us.
And Smoky Mountain.
And Cornette was so helpful. One of the things Cornette did, we didn't even mention this when we got to Smoky Mountain, is when we first got there, Cornette came to us and handed us a VHS tape.
Yep.
He said,
that's right.
Go and watch this, take what you see and what you like and incorporate it into you. That's what I want you to do. It was all Midnight Express and Rock and Roll Express. So when they were doing this NWA Invasion thing, and to be able to work with Ricky and Robert and Cornette made it even better because they were so helpful and instrumental to getting us to where we were at this point.
Especially on that stage, on the WWE stage. It was grander, it meant more, we were more seasoned.
They were selfless in the ring. Like, you know, they got their stuff over, but they would help you. They weren't afraid to help, which was great because not everyone was doing that.
How can an NWA... Oh, man! What a shot! And Cornette just... Wait a minute! He just knocked Thrasher right on board! Turn around! No! And the Headbangers win this match! The Headbangers are the NWA Tag Champions! Impossible, Ross! You saw it!
Tag Team Champions, the Headbangers.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, we always went into the crowd. The crowd was great. We learned very early on, the more we interacted with the crowd, the more we were going to get over.
And it was so cool back then because the guardrails around the ring, you could see through them. And you could actually, you know, reach through, as a little kid growing up and stuff like that, reach through the guardrail and go, oh my God, I touched him. Now he's going to win.
I have his sweat on my hand.
Yes.
And their opponents at a combined weight of 492 pounds, Mosh and Thrasher, the Headbangers.
Look at these two.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
it's so
started doing
funny.
the parodies, and it was fun.
And people loved it. And it was funny, too, because we enjoyed wrestling against the Mean Street Posse. For the amount of training that they had, they weren't bad. They were actually, you know, pretty decent. Where are you going?
I don't know. I'm confused.
And look, leaving me with two guys.
Pete Gas now shoving Joey Abs, the legal man, out of the ring. Referee's confused. This one's over. The Posse win. Pete Gas wasn't even the legal guy.
The Mean Street Posse.
We started doing the parodies when you came back.
Yeah.
The favorite one ever was the one we did against the Dudleys.
The Dummy Boys.
We were the Dummy Boys. And there's something wrong with his medulla oblongata.
Bubba stutters because there's something wrong with his medulla oblongata.
As many times as I could pull out an Adam Sandler quote on TV, I 100% would do it. And I think that promo hit like 3 of them.
Well, King, earlier today, Mr. 24/7 Crash Holly was forced to defend his hardcore title in another obscure location, Fun Time USA.
That's some cool stuff down here. That's taking it. No!
And Mosh attacking Crash Holly.
We hear about this so much. We walked in, it was us, Bruce Pritchard, Earl, and I think Crash was already there. And we walked through the place once.
Yeah, we did a walkthrough. Well, we
And that
can
was
do
it.
this, we can do that, we can do this, we can do that. And then it was just go.
The camera guy going down the slide, that was our idea.
Crash Holly. Hey, look at this. He's like a little Pac-Man going through it. And Mosh in pursuit on the slide as well.
It was a one-take job. We did all of this in one take. But it was so funny, and Crash was so great with this whole gimmick. It made the title fun and have some kind of meaning to it by the way he was doing it.
Even when he used to walk around with the scale. It was hilarious. The scale was bigger than him.
Look at this. Uh-oh. Oh, what a hurricane Rana by Crash. He got away. And Crash Holly. He's escaping again, King, with the hardcore title.
It's another just surreal moment in a career of us just having fun. We're not thinking this could be an iconic moment. This is going to be like a highlight moment. Everyone's going to talk about this for, 25 years later. We don't think of it that way, especially in the moment. You're just like, let's just try to make this as entertaining as possible. Because again, if we're having fun and we had fun doing this, we just imagine everyone else is going to have fun as well.
Back on SmackDown Live, set for more action in the inaugural SmackDown Tag Team Title Tournament. And David, the skirt-wearing Hellraisers, the Headbangers are back.
My son now is 20. He's almost 21. The monkey face I do, this, I used to do it all the time, but that was for my niece. I said, what do you want me to do for you so you know it's for you? He goes, I want you to dab. I said, I'm not dabbing. I hate to dab. It's stupid. He goes, that's why I want you to do it. So when we slid in, I went right to the corner, and I didn't even tell the camera guys about it. They caught it perfectly. His reaction of seeing me do that was the most priceless thing ever. So this whole night right here, that's all this was about for me, was for him to be able to see me in this ring.
This is a full circle thing for me, because after I left the WWE, I ballooned up to 315 pounds. I go down to his birthday party one year, his 40th party. Down in Florida. Long story short, I moved my whole family down there, started getting back in the gym. I lost 100 pounds. We got back in the ring, we started back and everything else. And then to actually come back here, for me, it was that full circle moment, fighting with my weight, with my knee injury and stuff like that. There was a lot of things that really messed with my psyche, I want to say, and caused us opportunities. So for me, this was like a full circle, for not only for me, but for him.
Tag made, in comes Thrasher of the Headbangers again. First time in 16 years in a WWE ring. So great! With that tandem offense, the cover, hooks on the leg, double axe handle to the back, breaks it up.
The big thing for us is, walked into catering, and all I could think of is I have to find someone I know so I can just grab some food and sit down and get out of the way. Like, I didn't want to stand there in catering, like wandering all around. But we walked into catering, and on the other side of the room,
this guy stands up.
It's John Cena. John Cena stands up and he goes,
makes a beeline.
Holy the Headbangers, they're actually here. He made the beeline across catering, came over, because we met John when he was Prototype, when he first started. So we did matches with him on indie shows out there, so we met him before he was John Cena. But for someone of John Cena's caliber at that point, he literally could have big leagued us, like acted like, or just been like, hey, how you doing? Good to see you, or whatever. But he made it a big deal that we were there. And then the other side was all the camera guys and the behind the scenes guys that were all still there. You know, we got to catch up with them, and we couldn't believe they were still there. And like, it was just a big reunion
Yeah,
catch-up thing.
it really was.
Yeah, but John Cena doing that was huge.
Was big. It meant a lot.
And you hear people come up and say, hey, you made this impact on my life, you made that impact. It's just surreal, I guess is the only word. A lot of it's really hard to put into words, because while we were in the moment of it, I don't think I realized, or either one of us realized how great these moments were until it was too late. Like, we went back in 2016, I realized how great that was because I was older. Just looking back now and being able to look at this, you just realize how special and how great it was. And we were fortunate enough to be there at one of the hottest times ever in the history of wrestling.